Welcome to this lesson where we are going to learn about coming up with a target audience as a newbie freelancer. When working on a target audience, you need to consider the geographic location of your target audience, their income, their occupation, their level of education, their age, and their gender. Target audience help you understand whom you will work with, who is likely to pay you better, who is likely to seek for your services, and depending on the geographic location and the type of service you offer, can you access them? Assuming you are a freelance plumber, or a freelance hairdresser, or a freelance journalist who interview people, and you have a small budget when you're starting, you might consider starting working with people within a geographic location that is near you. For instance, I live in Thika. So if I'm in plumbing, I am likely to work with people within Thika, Nairobi, Kitui, and Machakos, and Murang'a. People in Kisumu, they are very far. Or even people outside Kenya. But if I'm a freelancer who specializes in web design, my geographic location can be worldwide. I can offer web design services all over the world. So I have to ask myself, what type of service am I offering? And when I ask myself that type of question, I'm going to come here and I'm going to say, you know what? I will be offering Google for nonprofit to nonprofits. I'm going to come and write, that is the service I'm going to be offering. And then I'm going to say the other service I'm going to be offering is web design, but for non-profits. So I'm going to come and say I'm going to be offering web design for non-profit. So I'm going to be offering these two services. So I'm going to come here and say that service and that service. So what type of service am I offering? I'm offering Google for nonprofit and I'm offering web design. So depending on geographic location, I can offer it worldwide. But if I'm a plumber, I'm going to write the geographic location that I'm going to serve. Then when it comes to income, I seriously want non-profits that can afford to pay me. Maybe I will charges. If I go to Fiverr, back on Fiverr, and I look at what my competitors are charging, let's say non-profit website. So I'm going to see a non-profit website. My competitors are doing like this one is charging one page at $100. This one is charging $245 for 3 pages. And this one is charging $395 for 6 pages. So I'm going to put an average of $300, but I recommend you look at more people. You look at this one, you look at this one, you look at this one. You look like 5 of them or even 10, and you look at the best performing. You look at the best performing, how they're charging themselves. And like we look at this one, Scott, and we look at Scott. He is offering a single page site with 3 to 4 sections, $170, standard $450, premium $650. So I'm going to come and say that what I'm going to charge for nonprofit is $300 average. That should be the average. So I'm not going to go so low and I'm not going to go so high. But I want you to consider these charges. If you are in a first world country like the United States, this is very little money. You should probably add a zero and go up. And by the way, you can do a website. I have been able to offer web design services for as low as $200 and for as high as $5,000. So it depends again with the geographic location of your customer. So if the customer is in a country like the United States, they can comfortably pay you for a website $1,000. But if they are in Kenya, a third world country, even this $300, they might be struggling to pay you. So, but some will pay if they really know the value. And this is why you should consider the income that these people are generating. So if you are approaching business owners, like those who own roofing, swimming pool businesses, real estate, law firms, those are likely to pay you so well. But small business owners are likely to be struggling. So you need to understand the income of your target audience. The more money they are likely to have, the more they are likely to pay you better, and the more you are likely to charge for your services at a reasonable rate. Okay? So yeah, that's it. So remember, this price is not fixed. You can keep changing it. We said freelancing is very flexible. You can change prices depending on the customer needs. And, we also said that projects payment can be on hourly rate or based on project. So you can say per page, I'm going to charge you $100. For 3 pages, I'm going to charge you $200 for a non-profit website. Then the same website for non-profit, web design for non-profits. The same client you will be selling the web design for non-profit is the same client you will be selling Google for non-profit. I always recommend you combine 2 services so that when you sell a client one service, you will be able to upsell them another service so that you can make more money out of one client instead of just offering one service and then leaving it. Now you hand over the website and you leave it at that. Okay? So always try to have 2 services. So you offer one service at first, and then when you deliver it, you offer another one that is irresistible. Okay? So I usually combine 2 services, ensuring that I make most money out of one client. The other thing is considering occupation. If you look at my skills, one thing that I teach is how to teach online and how to create online courses. I work mostly with lecturers, teachers, and coaches because these are the people who are likely to be interested in creating online courses, in teaching anything. So when I present to them this opportunity, they are likely to become customers. The reason as to why you should consider the occupation of your customer is to know if whatever you are selling them is related to, your product is related to them. Okay? So if I offer non-profit services, I am going to look at for the founder of the non-profit. Founder of the non-profit. Founder of a non-profit. I am going to look for a board member of a non-profit. And so on and so forth. And remember, I can also add something else. Canva for non-profit. I can have these three things together. When I sell my client web design for non-profit, I can sell them something extra like setting up Google for non-profit for them and setting up Canva for non-profit. So I have so much to offer to one client and everything is related. And I can even continue and offer web site management services to them. And that's it. And then, like I have said, you should consider occupation because you want to work with people who you speak, who can understand your language. When you talk about a non-profit website, being a place where people can be able to donate, okay? So we come here and we say occupation. And in occupation, you want to deal with founders of a non-profit and you want to deal with board members of a particular non-profit. Because if you reach out to a board member and you present them these things and you tell them, hey, I offer these services. I noticed your organization doesn't have 1, 2, 3. Can you connect me with the founder of the non-profit? You tell a board member to connect you with a founder or a co-founder. Or co-founder. Employees of a non-profit will not help you. Let me save you. An employee of a company will not help you as a freelancer. An employee will not help you that much. As a freelancer, you are in B2B. You are a business owner who is approaching other businesses to do business with them. So the person who is likely to hire you is the key decision maker. Always have that in mind, that the key decision maker is the one who is likely to hire you. So here we are going to say key decision maker is the one who is likely to hire you. So if you are a web designer of anything, you're going to go to a business owner, somebody who is a business owner, the one who makes decisions for that business. Then you're going to consider education level. Like I said, I deal with lecturers, coaches, and teachers. So they have to understand what I'm talking about. They have to understand basic English when I'm talking. I literally prefer people who are educated. I work with people who have a minimum of a master's degree. I just prefer educated people because they are easier to explain things to. They understand easily. I just like it when it's easy for me when I'm working with somebody, okay? So, yes, you might, I don't know if your business will consider level of education, but in my case, I always consider the level of education. Like we have to talk in English. You have to understand when I'm talking about this software, this is the purpose of this software. If I explain to you, I want to use this software for this reason. Okay, for instance, in learning, when preparing for an online course, you have to have something called a learning management system that makes a course look like this. So you have to have somebody who understands what you're talking about. So I have to have somebody who can understand what I'm saying. Okay? So Can you imagine somebody who has not gone to school trying to explain to them what a learning management system is? They will never understand. Age is another factor, and I prefer people who are 50 years and above. Like you can see, I go for people who have a master's degree. And my best performing client is actually 69 years old. She is actually turning 70 the end of this year. She learns a nursing school. So for me, when it comes to age, I prefer people who are 40 years and above, because you can see 40 years and above, because they can afford my services. They have years of experience. They have ton of experience that they bring to the table. They might, they will afford. As you get older, your income is likely to increase because of your experience. Remember, they are likely to hold senior positions. They are likely to not have children that are bothering them with school fees and all that. People who are at least 50, they are the one whom I have seen performing the best. They pay well. They are very patient. They understand things don't come easy. And because I focus on online teaching most of the time, producing online courses, and I help them with their books, publishing, selling their online, their books online. That is like selling their ebooks. So you find when somebody is 50 years and above, they have lots of patience. They can pay you better. They understand better. They are not struggling with things like house rent. They have already built their homes. So these people are just looking for a retirement plan. They are ready to put in the work. But when I look at younger people, they want things that are quicker. And with online things, it doesn't work like that. You have to at least be patient. And this is something that I get in this group of people. And this is the best group of people to work with. These are the best. They are very peaceful, and they are very knowledgeable. They are very wise. I think that's why I'm very sharp, because of dealing with people who are older than me. So yeah, that's it. I don't hang out with people who are my age. Even my best friend is 5 years older than me, and we have been friends for how many years? 11 years, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, and she's full of wisdom, and she's very patient. She's 39, if I'm not wrong. She's 39 or 38, I don't know. Then we have gender. I prefer working mostly with women. To be honest, I prefer women. I just like working with women. I just love women. That's all. People who have mistreated me the most online are men. Yes, so I find it better to work with women, and that's it. So when you're coming up with a target audience, I highly recommend you consider the geographic location of your client. Because if your client is in a country like Australia, United States, New Zealand, they are likely to pay you better. Their income is high. You should consider their income, the nature of their business. If a customer their businesses, when you look at them, they are likely to generate good money. Construction is likely to generate good money. Consulting, human resource, CV writing, those things are likely to generate good money. So when non-profits, they are likely to have good money. And it's not those non-profits that are, it's not those, but those non-profits, those non-profits that are broke. It's not those ones. Try to get outside of your geographic location. You will find people who are willing to pay you better money. Occupation. The higher someone is in authority, even in employment, like they are at the managerial level, they are likely to be more serious, more consistent, more aggressive in life. They are likely to put in the work. So when you are working with them, they are likely to put in the work. And I will show you, when we come to learn marketing, I will show you how to identify these people who are likely to be be easy to work with, to be easy to relate with. They are self-motivated, and you want a client who is self-motivated so that you follow their lead. Like, you should be the one following your client, because the client is the one who sets the tone, the motivation. It's not you. So yeah, so because if you set the tone for motivation, it's you who will be motivating them. But let them deal with customers who motivate you, who are self-motivated. I will go explaining these things to you. Make sure, I don't know about level of education, but what I say is geographic location matters, income matters, and for me, age is a big factor. The younger a client is, the more stubborn I find them, the more unrealistic they are with results, and the more impatient they are. So long as you consider age, income, and geographic location, you're good. Others, they are not that important, but I look at them. Now, see you in our next lesson, where we are going to learn how to list your services that you have come up with on platforms like Fiverr and LinkedIn.